Right then, there's a quick walk around video for a Lexus RX 450, and this is the F Sport model. Silver, full black leather interior, 59,000 miles on the clock, and a full Lexus service history. Lovely car, absolutely lovely. Go around the car for you. Lights and lenses are nice and clear. There's no cracks or condensation in those. Bonnet, very good indeed. Any stitches, absolutely minor. Mate, I should trip over something there. Near side of the car, very smooth in the panel work. Can't see any obvious indentations. Near side front alloy, absolutely lovely condition. Near side rear alloy, again, really nice. Going to the back, nice and clean. Bumper corners really good. And the offside, driver's side of the car. Again, as with the near side, you can't see any indentations, sort of jumping out to me at all. Offside rear wheel, really good. The main panel work is excellent. There's always the tiny little mark. I mean, crikey me, it's 12 years old. But in all honesty, I find that really lovely there. There's very little to report on that car at all. It's really lovely. Coming to the back of the car, absolutely huge boot, beautifully finished, as you expect of any Lexus car. It's coming to the back of the car now. Loads of room, black leather interior, which has been kept really very nicely. Coming to the front, really clean and tidy. Passenger seat, not been given a huge amount of use, in all honesty. Let's come to the front and driver's side, again, very clean and tidy. Driver's seat, the car of its age and mileage in absolutely superb condition. So inside the car now, as always, I have the engine running, so the dashboard's illuminated. Lovely interior in this car, kept absolutely beautifully. Sat nav, you can see working exactly as it should. Let's put the car's reverse, you can see the reverse camera working likewise. To come down the dash, absolutely beautiful interior. Just to show you the dash design itself, absolutely just crystal clear display, 59,583 miles, and there are no warning lights on the car whilst it's in operation. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Lexus RX 450, obviously hybrid, and it's the F Sport model. Car's registered BG12PLF, and with a mileage of 59,584 recorded. The reason we do all of these videos, and as I always say, especially this road test section, is to ensure that if anyone's looking at any of our cars online, they get to see the very car advertised actually in operation. And the reason we've always felt it important is because, unfortunately, like lots of people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs or description, but only to get there and find out when you're driving it there's an obvious fault that shows up, which you'd clearly much rather known about. So coming to the car, as you'll know from the advert, it's been beautifully maintained. All of the servicing done by the Lexus main dealers, and it feels it straight away. Press the power button, car whirs into life. These are, for fear of repeating myself, self-charging hybrids, and what they mean by that quite clearly is it charges itself up as you drive along. When you hit the brake pedal, it replenishes the battery, so there is no range anxiety other than get low on fuel, petrol, and put petrol in, and that is it. It's wonderful in operation, light years ahead of its time, and with a reliability record absolutely unmatched for this type of vehicle. But more than that, it's just how beautifully engineered and how seamless the interactions are, because it gives you all the advantages. It's, you know, as economical as most of its competitors' turbo diesels, certainly in my experience, and I've driven all of them over long, some big distances. But this is just so much smoother, that interaction, that 3.5 V6 is lovely, but when you put your foot down, you've got a muted kind of snarl to the engine, rather than sort of a grumbly diesel sound. But when it switches between a petrol engine and petrol, it's the stuff of witchcraft. It's just so smooth, and you know, a lot of performance. You put your foot down hard and the thing absolutely launches forward. There are, by the way, no warning lights on the dashboard at all, relating to the engine or any other part of the car actually. Temperature gauge running sort of between a half and a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on one of these cars, so all absolutely as it should be. Engine then feeds through into the CVT gearbox. Beautiful match for the car. Basically it means you've got this lovely seamless again delivery of the engine's performance through the gearbox. There's no jolting, there's no indecision, it's just wonderfully smooth. And at low speeds you get this almost kind of electric car feel, because it will run in electric mode, where everything's just so smooth and silent. At tick over, generally there's no noise because it turns the engine off. And for quite long distances, you know, I'm talking sort of half a mile or so, you know, it may run electric only, certainly when you're sort of manoeuvring around. But it is absolutely fantastic, I have to say. On the move, come to the sort of steering and chassis. You know, this is first and foremost, as much as it is the F Sport version, a luxury car. So it's not going to be, you know, like driving a BMW M3 around the lanes. But what it is very capable. The steering's very nicely weighted. It feels substantial on the road in terms of the steering has nice weight, never feels anything sort of nervous in any way. But it's accurate and precise, you know, as much as, you know, this car needs to be. But it doesn't unsettle the car when you turn into the corner, unless you're, you know, driving with, you know, an act of lunacy. So when you go through a corner like the one in front, which the old 400 would have sort of lolloped through, this one kind of turn in. The corner's relatively flat. Body control is actually really rather good. And it's very smooth. Last summer went on a lovely trip up to North Wales with some very challenging roads, and we had one of these, and it was a lovely car. And I always liked the predecessor, the 400, but that would feel you had to drive slower because body motion would be more pronounced. The ride, incredibly comfortable, of course, very well judged. But again, it doesn't allow lots of body motion. You know, it does have it. It's a taller, upright car, but it's not sort of an ever-present. Incidentally, no clonks or rattles from underneath the car at all. That shouldn't be there. Nothing at all there. Steering also tracks nice and straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to legal limit, actually. I'm just going to come to the brakes, make sure no one's directly behind me. A nice solid brake pedal on the car, powerful, no pulsing, no vibrations coming back through the pedal, so all in good order there. And then finally coming inside, you're met by, again, another wonderfully made Lexus car, really nicely laid out in here, premium materials inside the car as well. So I'm not quite sure what the lady's doing in front, might just zip by. To a stop. It's just it's typical of Lexus. They do the interiors of these cars absolutely wonderfully well. Layout's really simple and easy to use. Everything's working exactly as it should. You've got a nicely recessed high up sat nav system there, so you don't get lots of glare. That's all operated through this little mouse pad here, which when I first had one I thought, ooh, but all modern cars like this now, but actually it works really, really well, I have to say. You can access, obviously the radio through there, but you've also got radio controls and separate climate control controls further down, so you don't have to go into the screen, which again, I applaud Lexus for doing that. The sound system, by the way, is astonishing. Typical Mark Levinson setup. beautiful sound reproduction. The air conditioning system also pumps out absolutely ice cold air. Checked that in a nice warm workshop earlier on. And then in front of me, you got this, again, it's the details I love on these Lexus cars. The backlighting, the kind of warm kind of sort of purpley glow that it's got to it looks absolutely stunning. But the detailing of the labelling of the gauges is all, you know, very, very sort of high class. And finally, this lovely leather-bound steering wheel, which feels absolutely great in hand. But it's, you know, it drives absolutely beautifully. I've always loved these cars, so I am massively biased, but that's not the point of the video. It's to pick up on issues of which there's nothing at all. It drives beautifully.